Okay, so here's your help video for quiz 5.03. So the need to know info. This quiz is kind of a weird one because you have to visualize what's happening. And for some students, they see it instantly. And for some students, they have a really hard time seeing it ever. But basically, your need to know info is you need to know your 3D shapes, your three-dimensional shapes. All right, so what we're doing on this quiz, we're taking a shape, a two-dimensional shape, and we are spinning it along and around an axis, and we're trying to decide what three-dimensional shape that would create. So if we look over here at this picture, we're taking this rectangle and we're spinning it, or we're rotating it. It's like we're holding a pencil with a rectangle on it, and we're spinning that pencil, and we're trying to figure out what shape it makes. Well, it's really hard to see. But if you imagine that we were spinning this, I'm the worst artist, y'all. I apologize in advance. If you imagine that we were spinning this around, this is such a terrible picture. If I'm spinning this around, that rectangle is going to become a cylinder, a solid cylinder. The only way that it's going to make something hollow is if it's not touching the axis that you're spinning it around. If you were spinning something like this, it would make like a hollow cylinder because it wouldn't actually be, there would be nothing in this middle spot. It would just be, wow, I cannot draw three-dimensional. But in order for it to be hollow, it can't touch the axis. So we can cross out all of the hollow ones. And then as far as a rectangular prism, as we spin this, it's going to be rotating in a circle. So that is not going to be rectangular. It's going to be a cylinder. Okay, for this one, which three-dimensional object is formed when the shape is rotated about the axis as shown? So again, imagine this being rotated around. I'm going to go ahead and, this is just if it gets rotated 180 degrees, but we're actually rotating it around the axis. So we're going around and around and around. So that's actually going to create a cone. Sorry if I'm not doing this justice, guys. I tried to find some visual aids for us, but there's just not a lot on the internet available. This one says, which description best describes the three-dimensional object that is formed when the shape is rotated about the axis as shown? So for this one, we have a rectangle, so I already kind of know in my mind that if I go around this axis, that it's going to form this cylinder shape. But there's not going to be anything in the middle here. Well, let me see if I can highlight that. This whole middle part is going to be empty. It's just going to be going around. So it's going to make this hollow cylinder. I don't know if that helps you see it or not. But you could also just use like process of elimination. Like we know it's not going to be a pyramid shape. A flat disc, it has to be three-dimensional, so it can't be flat. And a rectangular prism, yeah, when we go around, we have to kind of think about that circular shape of going around. I am not doing this justice, y'all. I'm sorry if this help video is not helping. Which figure shows how a shape can be rotated about an axis to form a hemisphere? All right, so we're trying to form half of a circle. Clearly, it's not going to be this one or this one. So that gets us down to two options. So let's think about drawing this. If we rotate this one, again, we're rotating it around. It's going to look something like that. If we rotate this one around, this is going to end up making an entire sphere. I know when you look at the initial picture, it looks like it's just a hemisphere because it's only half of it. But as you open it up, it's going to make a whole sphere. Have any of you guys ever seen the tissue balls that like start off flat, then you open them up and then they become this big tissue ball? That's what's happening here. So this is not a hemisphere. This is an entire sphere. This is the only one that would be a hemisphere or half of a circle. All right, and then which figure shows how a shape can be rotated about an axis to form the given object? So we're trying to get this shape out of it. All right. I'm just going to try to draw each of these. And whenever I draw them, I have to draw them two-dimensional first and then imagine like making that around. So that one would have pointy sides on each end, and this one doesn't have pointy sides, so it's not going to be that one. If we do this one, we just discussed how that's going to make a hemisphere. So this isn't a hemisphere. This has got a rounded top, and that has a flat top. If we do this one, we're going to get this really funky, cool, like, double pointy, like, cone thing. So the only one that makes sense is this. And again, if you're rotating it around, you got to think about it to have like a circular base on the bottom and the top. And so that would end up looking like our picture. So this one is our answer. Okay, I hope that helped a little bit. Sorry, I'm not a great artist, but good luck visualizing these and let me know if you need more help.